After I had my baby, my husband's family said, in our culture, the grandparents raise the first child. When I said no, his mother smiled and replied, then you're disrespecting our ancestors. My husband looked unsure, like he didn't know what to do. That night, I made a phone call. The next morning, they opened their mail and screamed when they saw what I had done. I had just given birth to my first child, a healthy baby boy. I was tired, in pain, and overwhelmed, but I was also the happiest I had ever been. My husband, Adam, was there with me, holding my hand. As I looked at our son, I truly believed we were about to start our new life together as a family. I didn't see what was coming. A few days later, Adam's parents flew in from out of state. His mother, Cecilia, had always been a little too involved in our lives. She could be bossy, passive-aggressive, and overbearing, but I thought that was just how some mothers-in-law acted. I believed I could handle her. I was wrong. At the hospital, they looked at my baby for the first time and then said something that made me freeze. In our culture, the grandparents raise the firstborn. I stared. What? Cecilia smiled like she was talking about the weather. It's tradition. The grandparents raise the first child. It's how our family has always done it. I laughed, unsure if she was joking, but then I looked at Adam, and he wasn't laughing. He looked nervous. I turned to him. You know about this? He shifted in his seat. I thought we'd talk about it later. Cecilia clapped her hands happily. There's nothing to talk about. We already started setting up a nursery at our house. They'll be so happy with us. My mouth went dry. You expect me to give you my baby? Cecilia's smile grew even wider. This is a great honor for the grandparents. Of course you'll still be his mother, from a distance. We'll raise him with our values, and one day he'll understand. I looked at Adam, waiting for him to speak up, to say this was crazy and stand by me. But he just looked at the floor. Then Cecilia's husband, Robert, spoke. This is how it is. We don't go against family tradition. My heart pounded. Well, in my family, mothers raise their own children. Cecilia's face hardened, but her voice stayed calm. So you're refusing. That means you're disrespecting our ancestors. I felt like I was in a bad dream. Even though I was sore and weak, I sat up straighter. I don't care. Her eyes narrowed. You need to think carefully. Adam respects our heritage. He knows what's right. Adam still wouldn't look at me. My hands tightened into fists. I looked straight at him. Do you want to give our baby to them? His jaw tensed. I don't want to, but... No, I interrupted. No buts. Either you're with me or you're with them. Cecilia gasped. You're making him choose between us and you? I looked her in the eye. I am his family, and this, I pointed at our sleeping son, is his family. Silence. Then Cecilia gave a soft laugh. Well, she said, this will be interesting. The look she gave me made my skin crawl. I didn't know what she was planning, but I knew this wasn't over. I was tired. I needed to rest. So I said nothing. But I wasn't dumb. I had seen Cecilia's smug smile. I had seen Adam hesitate. I had seen Robert look at me like I was in the way. I wasn't going to sit around and wait for them to take my child. That night, I made a call. The next morning, Cecilia and Robert got something in the mail. The moment they opened it, they started screaming. I was in my hospital bed, holding my baby, still sore and exhausted. My phone buzzed. Adam looked at the screen. It was his mom. I didn't move. Answer it, he said quietly. I shook my head. No. His hands clenched. What did you do? I looked right at him. What I had to. He grabbed his phone and rushed out of the room. Moments later, even through the hospital walls, I could hear Cecilia screaming. I had called my lawyer. Yes, I had one. I wasn't naive. I knew right away this wasn't just a small disagreement. This wasn't just a talk. It was war. And I wasn't about to go into battle unprepared. By the time I left the hospital, I had everything set up legally. Temporary custody papers, proof of my parental rights, and an emergency cease and desist order warning my in-laws not to come near my baby. I also sent copies straight to their house, along with a note. My son is not yours. Don't push me. Adam walked back into the hospital room, his face pale, jaw clenched. You blindsided them. I let out a cold laugh. They blindsided me when they said they were taking my baby. His voice rose. You didn't even let me talk to them first. I looked down at our baby sleeping in my arms. Then I looked at Adam. You did talk to them. You stood there and let them say it. You didn't defend me. You didn't defend him. He looked tired. It's complicated. No, I said firmly. It's not. You either protect your child or you don't. The room went silent. I didn't recognize him anymore. The man I married would have never let this happen. But I couldn't focus on that. I had a newborn to protect. We went home the next day. I locked every door, checked all the windows, twice. Maybe I was being too careful. I didn't care. Then, 2 days later, Cecilia showed up. She was at our front door, Robert next to her. This time she wasn't smiling. I just want to talk, she said sweetly. As a family. I crossed my arms and stood in the doorway. We have nothing to talk about. She let out a big sigh. You're acting like we tried to kidnap him. I blinked. You literally said you were taking my baby. Robert frowned. It's okay. My stomach turned. Get off my property. Cecilia's smile faded. Adam, she said, turning to him. Her voice turned sugary. You're going to let her talk to us like this? Adam shifted uncomfortably. Maybe we should just hear them out. I cut him off. They think they have a claim to our son. You really want to hear more of that? Cecilia's face hardened. You can fight this, she said, but you won't win. I lifted my chin. We'll see. She forced a smile. We'll be back. I slammed the door in her face. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound outside made me jump. Every shadow made my heart race. I held my baby close. Adam sat up in bed. You need to make peace with them, he said. I turned to him slowly. What did you say? They're not going to stop, he said, rubbing his face. They're serious about this. So am I, he sighed. They're doing what they think is right. I stared at him shocked. You agree with them? I'm saying it's their tradition, he said quietly, and we knew that when we got married. I couldn't breathe. So you think I should just give them our baby? He looked torn, then stood up and grabbed a bag. I'm going to stay at their place for a few days, he said. I need space to think. My blood ran cold. What? It's just too much right now, he said. I need time. You're leaving us. My voice cracked, but Adam wouldn't look at me. I watched him walk out the door, and in that moment I knew this wasn't just about his parents anymore. This was about him, and I had just lost him to them. He didn't come home that night, or the one after. At first I told myself he just needed time. Maybe he'd come to his senses, maybe he'd realize he was wrong. But on the third day, I woke up to a message from him. We need to talk. Meet me at my parents' house. Everything in me screamed don't go, but I needed to know the truth. Was the man I married still there, or completely gone? So I went. As soon as I pulled into the driveway, I knew something was wrong. Cecilia stood at the door smiling, like she'd already won. Adam was behind her, stiff and distant. I walked up with my son in his car seat, gripping the handle tightly. What do you want? I asked. Cecilia clasped her hands together. We've been talking, and we think we have a compromise. I glanced at Adam. He wouldn't meet my eyes. What kind of compromise? She motioned toward the house. Let's talk inside. No, I said. Say it here. She looked annoyed. You're being unreasonable. And you're being manipulative. She took a breath, then said, Fine. Here's the offer. You give us full custody, and we'll let you stay in his life. I almost laughed. You think I'd give you my baby? Her smile faded. If you fight this, Adam will take you to court, and we'll support him. My heart pounded. What are you talking about? Adam finally spoke. I think he'd be better off here, he said quietly. My chest hurt. You're trying to take him from me? I just want what's best for him. Cecilia jumped in. With our lawyers and connections, we will win, she said. But we're giving you a chance. Agree now, and you'll still be able to see him, holidays, special occasions. You mean supervised visits with my baby. She smiled again. It's better than nothing. I tightened my grip on the car seat. If you try to take him from me, I will fight you. Cecilia didn't flinch. We'll see. I didn't go home. Adam had a key. He knew the alarm codes. He could walk in any time. If his parents were backing him, I didn't know what they'd try next. So I drove straight to my lawyer's office. I told her everything, the threats, the custody deal, how Adam had turned on me. She listened closely, then said, "You need to leave." "What?" "If they file first, they could say you're unstable, that you're keeping the baby from his father, or even kidnapping him." "But he's my baby. He's both of yours, legally," she said. "You need to file for emergency custody first, and fast." I nodded. "Okay." That night, I packed a bag, grabbed my son, and left. I didn't know where to go. My family lived far away, and I didn't trust anyone nearby. So I drove for hours, stopping only when I couldn't stay awake. I found a cheap motel, carried my baby inside, and locked the door. I pushed a chair against it and collapsed onto the bed, too scared to sleep. The next morning, I called my lawyer. "I need to file for emergency custody." "Good," she said. "But there's a problem." "What is it?" She hesitated. "Adam filed first." My stomach dropped. "What?" "They're saying you're unstable, that you ran off with the baby, that you won't let Adam see him." I felt sick. "They threatened me." "They have money and influence," she said. "Courts often favor shared custody, if we're lucky. And if we're not, they might say you're unfit, that you kidnapped your own child." My blood turned to ice. Adam was painting me as the threat. Me, the one who had been trying to protect our baby. My lawyer leaned in. "We have to act fast. We'll file a counterpetition for full custody. Do you have any proof of their threats?" I shook my head. "Nothing solid. Just my word." She nodded grimly. "Then we need something stronger. We need evidence." I knew exactly where to look. Cecilia had always been too confident, like she knew she'd win no matter what. That couldn't just be luck or pride. She had something else. Something hidden. My hands trembled as I scrolled through my phone. There was one person who might know the truth, and I was going to find them. I knew exactly who to call. Adam's cousin Lisa had always been the black sheep of the family. Outspoken, independent, everything Cecilia hated. But that meant she was the one who'd seen the truth. I dialed her number, my fingers shaking. She picked up on the second ring. "Hello?" "Lisa." I exhaled, feeling the weight of everything crashing down. "I need your help." For a moment, there was silence. Then her voice, quiet but firm. "You finally figured it out, didn't you?" My stomach clenched. "What do you mean?" Lisa let out a heavy sigh. "You're not the first one. Cecilia's done this before." I froze. "What?" She spoke slowly, as if letting it all sink in. "She did the same thing to my mom." I swallowed hard. "What happened?" Lisa's voice wavered slightly. "She took my older brother away. My mom fought for years, but Cecilia had money, lawyers, connections. She won." I clenched my fists, trying to keep my anger under control. Lisa lowered her voice, almost a whisper. "She's going to bury you in legal fees, drain you emotionally, make you look like the unstable one." I felt sick, helpless. How do I stop her? There was a long pause, then Lisa said, "I have something. Something you can use." Minutes later, my phone buzzed. A recording from Lisa. I hit play and Cecilia's voice filled the room, full of smug confidence. "You think the courts care about the truth? Please, it's all about who has the better lawyer, the right connections. You buy the truth. And that idiot girl never stood a chance." My hands shook with fury as I listened. She admitted it. She stole a child. I wasted no time. I sent the recording straight to my lawyer. Her call came in less than 5 minutes. "This changes everything." I didn't wait for the court date. I drove straight to Cecilia's house. Adam was there, along with Robert. They sat in their pristine, expensive living room, the smugness radiating from their faces. I walked in, my phone clutched tightly in my hand. Cecilia barely looked up, finally coming to your senses. I held up my phone. "Actually, I came to deliver something." I hit play. Cecilia's voice filled the room, cold and calculating. "You think the courts care about the truth? Please, it's all about who has the better lawyer, the right connections. You buy the truth. And that idiot girl never stood a chance." Her face drained of color. Robert shot to his feet. "What the hell is this?" I looked at him, unflinching. "A recording of your wife admitting she stole a child." I turned to Adam, who was staring at me, his face pale, eyes darting between me and his mother. This is taken out of context," Cecilia stammered. I laughed bitterly. Let's ask a judge about that." Adam's voice was hoarse. "Mom, tell me this isn't true." Cecilia opened her mouth, then she closed it. That was all Adam needed. His face crumbled as the realization hit. You lied to me, he whispered, his voice barely audible. Cecilia's face twisted with anger. I did what was best for our family. No, Adam said, his voice shaking with the weight of everything. You did what was best for you. He turned to me, regret pouring from his eyes. I was wrong. I crossed my arms. You were. His words faltered. Can we fix this? I stared at him for what felt like an eternity. My heart ached, but my resolve was stronger. No. The court case was brutal. Cecilia fought with everything she had. Manipulation, lies, the works. But the recording was damning. My lawyer ripped her apart piece by piece. In the end, I won. Full custody. Cecilia was barred from seeing my son, and Adam got supervised visitation. Barely. He tried to apologize, begged for another chance. But I had spent too much of my life waiting for him to stand up for me. I wasn't going to waste any more time. A few weeks later, Lisa called. I don't know how you did it, she said, awe in her voice. But you beat her. I looked down at my son, sleeping peacefully in my arms. This was what I fought for, and it was worth every battle.